Hey, what's up everybody? Unrested here, and right now I am out in Sakai-Kami, and it is kind of more of a countryside area here in Japan. It's a good 3 stops away from where I live in the city, but it's on a rapid train, so 3 stops is actually really quite far out from where I live. Behind me you can see a giant mall. That giant mall has a grocery store called Ito-Yokuro. And Ito-Yokuro is actually a conglomerate with 7-Eleven from America, and that's one of the biggest grocery stores you'll ever shop at if you're here in Japan. So just so you know, if you see a 7-Eleven, it's not quite what you think. It's not just a convenience store, it's actually a whole grocery store usually, although they do have convenience stores as well. So anyway, today I'm just here with my family and everything. We're hanging out, we're chilling, we're giving the baby a chance to play around on the playground, which is quite fun for him. And I thought I'd also just take this time to give you an explanation as to why every year when it gets close to about, December time and the change of the year, why I'm always gone for maybe a couple months, 2 to 3 months, and then I come back and make new videos. Well, this is important because you'll also need to know this if you're going to come out here to try and find a job. Around this time is when the real contracts begin. Every year, obviously, things change over. There's not a lot of places that you're going to get multiple years for your contract at. So each year, you're probably either going to be signing a contract with the same company, renewing it, I should say, or you're signing a whole new one. Or maybe if you work as an assistant language teacher, ALT, you're going to be signing a contract for a different school, because usually you'll change schools unless the same school requests you back, which sometimes happens, sometimes doesn't. It doesn't really always matter how good you are or anything. Sometimes the district actually has to keep hiring somebody new. Anyway, what we've got is each year, right around January, February, March, that is the time that all new contracts are written out and signed up. So if you come here around April or May, that's probably going to be the worst time ever, as in right now, the worst time ever to try and find a job. So that's one thing to keep in mind if you are coming out here to find work. These days there's not a lot of ekaiwas, it's like small English schools that teach one-on-one lessons with adults or sometimes group lessons with adults. There's not a lot that hire overseas anymore. There used to be the big Nova, obviously everyone knows about that. I think a few others used to do it too, like maybe Aeon and Geos, but now those times are gone. If there are any jobs that hire overseas, it's JET, and the JET program is actually quite hard to get into. If you're really interested, you'll Google it, you'll research it, you'll learn what you need to do. You won't ask me here, what can I do to get into JET? If you were serious, you would already know. So this is the time when everybody's probably already had their contract signed and gotten their job for the year. Jobs typically go for 1 year. Some are 6-month contracts. They're even as small as 3-month and 1-month contracts. This year myself, I signed a 1-year, and I also signed a 1-month contract with 2 different schools. That is usually just to fill in a small period where we have a summer vacation, and that's just to make sure I have a second income during that time, because the actual time that you'll work at a school that's a public school during summer and winter is really quite short. Some of them pay during that time, but most don't, I'll be honest with you. Right now, Osaka City especially is under a really tight budget, and with our new mayor, he's cutting back even more, so not a lot of chance you'll get anything for that time. Moving on, as I said, if you are really interested in setting up your whole life here, the time to do is, I would say, at the end of December would be the best time to come start looking around for jobs. Okay? I want to just define this one time again, because I'm probably going to get a lot of job questions right after making this. You will need a degree in anything. It does not matter. Yes, an English degree is good, but it's not the most important thing ever. Any degree, 4-year degree, or the equivalent to a bachelor's. Okay? Anything less, not going to cut it, unless you're married to a Japanese person and have a spouse visa, okay? Please do not write me, how can I get around not having a degree? I'm not married to a Japanese person. There is no way around it. I don't have a shortcut for you. Stop sending me that question. Okay, So come around December, at the end is the best time. You can start looking for different work then. There's everything from ALT, Assistant Language Teacher, Kaiwa, which is usually one-on-one adult lessons, sometimes kids, which is a little bit different, and actually if you want to get into that market, you'll have quite a few options. Then the other third option is Youqian, kindergarten jobs, and be ready for a lot of work, but you'll probably get a pretty decent pay, although these days it's going lower and lower. And you'll have work all year, which is good. And if they really like you, you're hired back for endlessly. You'll just constantly keep getting hired back. You can usually keep your job because honestly, not a lot of people want those jobs because they pay low and you work hard. Other than that, I mean, your options are limited. Maybe you can get work in other fields in Tokyo, because obviously there are some specialty places such as hotels that were only for foreigners that are visiting that need a lot of English-speaking staff, bars, restaurants, etc., etc. Those are on an individual basis. No, I don't have any contact to any of them. No, I can't help you get a job at any of them. Don't write to me about that stuff because I don't really have any expertise in it. And honestly, if you're really determined, you'll do the research, okay? As far as school jobs, feel free to always ask me questions about those, aside from you exploring the route of JET, which really is government defined and you need to research it yourself if you're really that interested. That's about it for today. We're going to enjoy our rest of the day at the park. If you have any questions, as always, from this JFAQ, feel free to write me, and look forward to continuing JFAQs for the rest of the year, obviously until December again.